Southeast Asia Prayer Center, I learned through the church I attend. 4 years ago, I went on a trip to Cambodia with the staff, some people from the church. At that time, I was aware of CPAC, but I didn't really know our connection with them. I was nearing that time of retirement, and I had been praying and seeking God about what I would do once I was retired. And one thing that I had desire to do or thought about doing was volunteering for a missions organization. So when the time came, I was retired and it was summertime, and I got the letter, a newsletter from CPAC, because at one time my husband and I had given some money to send some bicycles over to the kids. And that's how we received the newsletter. Here I am, I'm reading the newsletter, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna call CPAC and see if they can use me, or if they need some help, anything I can do for you, I'll let you know. Here I am, and so, yes, so that's how that happened. And they called me, and I come in, talk with Mark and Allie, and well, Mark and Allie attend the same church I do. They saw me around, and when I popped in here, Allie went, I know who you are. We have about 4,200 donors. And one of the things I do is I make sure that donor addresses are correct, and if someone makes a move or leaves the country or however, that I have that information, and I make sure that it's in the computer, so that when the newsletters go out, everyone's sure to get their newsletter. Event coordinator is basically working with Mark on here in the United States when he goes on to do seminars or conferences, that I help prepare the table that he will have there, where we lay out the books that he writes, our newsletter, just information, some bulletin, some insights about our ministry there for people to come read and find out. They can sign up for our newsletter, know where we are, what we do. So I sort of like help him get his quote suitcase together, getting this newsletter out. I have to call the volunteers, the gals, and let them know we're doing the letter, and can you be with us, and need all the help we can get. And we have a specific time that we have to get that newsletter to the post office. Sponsors of children in the orphanages, a couple times a year we receive letter from their sponsor child going to them, and they come through this office. And sometimes there'll be a picture that they drew, and there'll be a letter for the sponsor. And the blessing is that I get an opportunity to see these special drawings and read these special letters to their mommies and daddies, aunt and uncle, they call them sometimes. But they share a little bit about their lives, and they always say, I love you, and they always say, thank you so much for sponsoring me, and I'm getting my education, and I'm getting good food to eat. It's just a real blessing to the heart to read them. So my husband and I also sponsor a child here, a little boy, and our desire is to go on missions trips with CPAC. First place would be to go see our little guy. He's over there in Myanmar. Yeah. Southeast Asia Prayer Center, most obviously about bringing others to Jesus. The greatest mission to the future, which is to children, and they are the future, to show others and teach others about Jesus. We hope that they get that education and that they go out and they be a light for Jesus to these countries and make changes to the countries. And honestly and truthfully in my heart, I believe that they will. I believe that they do. An impact will be made to the world, to these children who are in these orphanages, that they're not just in an orphanage, but they're hearing about Jesus. And that makes it even more wonderful. To be a disciple is to teach, to tell, to share about who Jesus is. There's always that opportunity to disciple people. Grocery store, swimming pool, movie house, hundreds of places where we go, a restaurant, out to eat. But you never know that there may be someone there that your smile, you're saying God bless you to them, have a good evening. Just a few words makes all the difference. To me, it's a spiritual difference. It's where the heart's at. Anybody can say, well, have a good evening or have a good day. But when God says it through you, that's a different story. They can get involved through volunteering, the monthly newsletter that we get out, sponsor a child, because there are so many that have that need, and believe me, it is so worthwhile. And you just never know what God's going to do in the life of that child. And it's exciting. Remember, that the prayer of a righteous man brings much. Much happens through prayer. And just in the 2 years that I volunteered here, I've seen so much in the life of Mark and Matt and Ellie and Tony and Tina and Shelly, all those who walk here. I've seen how God has grown them, has worked through them, has touched their hearts where they have reached out and touched others. I just see it. I see it all the time. I see it every day when we're on the phone with somebody. I see it in the way they connect and talk with each other and share. And just the way they share with me is really special. And they bring out Jesus in me. They're my family. And I love coming here. And sometimes I don't want to go home. And sometimes I'm looking at Tina and I'm saying, give me some more to do. So I come sometimes 2-3 times a week, depending on how much they need me. And much that will be done because God is in this place. God is in this ministry. Salvation is cornerstone here in the ministry of CPEC, I believe. So just knowing that somewhere, someplace, sometime, someone is being brought to Jesus Christ. Someone is learning who He is. Someone's heart and life is being changed because of Jesus, because CPEC is reaching out in so many areas of the world and Southeast Asia. If you don't know Jesus Christ, knowing Him is the greatest thing you could ever have in your life and you could ever want. God loves you, and there's nothing more than He would love to have you by His side, to be His partner, to be His minister and ambassador to this world who's so hurting and so needs Jesus. Give Him your heart. And when you do that, man, He just, so much that can happen and change that can happen. And it's all because of Him, it's really all because of Him. No one's taking any credit because it's true. Because when you take Him into your heart and you ask Him to come in, He comes in and He lives in you. And when you believe that He lives in you, then you can do all those things He's calling you to do. And you can know joy and peace because it's really Him, and it's just a matter of being still and listening. And don't hurry. Don't hurry because He's in no hurry.
Coming soon. There's only one hope.
Hey, thanks again for watching this episode. Until our next episode of Revelations, may you and your families be blessed.